Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming to check out what I got to talk about today. I have my tea. It's honestly getting a little cold now, but yeah. Hey, actually, hold on. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I had to go get the book that I'm reading in the gym right now. It's called Essentialism, the Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg McKeown. Anyways, it's really good. You should tap into her, check her out. She's really good so far. I read the first chapter and wow, I love when a book tells me about myself. And I think you should all check it out. It's so good. And honestly, just from reading it says I'm on chapter 3, the first 2 chapters, I realized how much I've just been focusing on things that I would say are not leading me towards the life that I want. And even, this is so crazy. So even in like the little things that I'm doing in my life, like I just want to be able to focus on the things that I want to do. And not my eye patch falling down. And just from reading like the first 2 chapters, I realized that I put so much effort into things that I know that I have no intent on pursuing. And some of it really is just like it's really people pleasing. Like if you are a people pleaser, you want to read this because it really just tells you to focus on the things that, and of course, like everyone's like, oh, it's just, logic. But no, honestly, reading the book and like having someone break it down in a way that's like easy for you to understand really like changed my perspective on just a lot of things. And like I was literally like, I'm on the treadmill, I'm reading, and I'm just reading the book and I'm like, wow, like you're right. Like why am I'm putting so much energy into things that I have no desire to pursue, and it just makes me just want to change my whole life. But the thing is, things are happening, things are in motion, things are moving, and I love that these things are in motion. Like things are really moving in my favor, thank the Lord. So something that I was thinking about, like when I was thinking about things that I didn't want to do and how like some things are like really just draining me and taking away from like the bigger picture that I see for myself in life, like my job. And of course I need my job, and I thank God every day. Like truly, like I know that some days I really do, like I don't feel like going. I'm like, oh, like today I didn't go to work. But I feel like sometimes I wake up and I'm like, bro, like this is really not how I see my life going. And I remember, and the reason why I always thank God for my job, even though I don't really feel like going and I'm kind of just over this phase of my life, like I remember when I was really just like crying, begging God for a change when I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings. I was like, God, please, like I just want to do something different. I want to do something where like I feel like I matter, or like I just want to do something else. Like, and he gave that to me. He gave me that, and I was just like, cool. So now that we're here and like we have like an income and like money's coming in and things are happening. Sorry, that was kind of gross. Things are happening, and now I'm just like, okay, cool. Like I've seen it, I've done it, and now I'm ready for something new. And I feel like I've always been that kind of person. Like I'll do something and now I'm just ready for new things. Isaac, I feel like every time I turn on this camera, he just starts acting crazy. Like I swear we were really just chilling, and now he's acting like I'm ignoring him, and I'm not. Anyways, this man done made me lose my train of thought. But yeah, no, anyways, I was talking about my job. So I remember praying for it, and then God gave it to me, and now I'm just ready for new things. And I was like, oh, like I feel like I realized that I've always been like this. I've always been somebody to skip around and to just get up and go and to just do things, and I'll do something for a while and I'll go. And I don't think that that's a bad trait. I think that I've just always been in the habit of just not being afraid to let go and not realizing that it was actually a good quality. And I always thought of myself of like as like a quitter instead of somebody who's just like, okay, cool, like we've done this, we accomplished it, and like let's go to something bigger or better. Let's just do something else instead of trying to stay in something so long that I feel not happy in it anymore. And yeah, but right now I feel like at my job I've been putting so much energy into people who don't really care. And I don't want to say too much because I don't know who be watching my videos, but sometimes it really is heartbreaking. And I feel like that was one of the reasons why I didn't go to work today, because sometimes I put so much energy into like creating, and I'm like in my room and I'm dancing and I'm just like, oh, they will love this, this is going to be so good, it's going to be fun. And I'm picking out these songs and I am trying so hard, and I want everyone to just have such a good time, and I'm like pouring into people. And I do have like my classes where I do like pour into people, and I'm just like, wow, like we're really taking a step forward and like my voice matters. And then I have other classes when it's like sometimes I'm just there and I really want to cry because I'm just like, I know that nothing that I say matters here. And it kind of pushes me to a space where it's like, it was talking about helplessness. It's like I can go into this state, the book, I'm talking about the book. I can go into this space of either I am putting so much energy into it that at the end of the class I feel drained, or I'm not putting any energy to it because I feel like no matter how much energy I put into it, it won't matter in the end. And so then when I do have my classes where I can put all of my energy into it and I feel good afterwards, I'm just trying to figure out like where the balance is and how I can just move forward in a way that like the energies that I'm putting out, I always receive back. Because the thing is, I know that life isn't fair and not everything's going to work out like that. But that is the way that I want my life to look and to feel. And that is the goal. Like I want to put out to get, and not that everything is going to be like that. Like if I'm giving to the homeless, of course I don't expect them to give me $5 back if I give them $5. I'm saying in life, like when it comes to my job, if I'm putting in energy, I would love the energy to be returned. If I am pouring into people, I would love that energy to be returned to me. But I can't, like they say, you can't just keep pouring from an empty cup. Baby's getting empty. That's why baby didn't go to work today. Baby was feeling drained. Baby's body was hurting. Baby wanted to sleep, and that's exactly what she did. She slept. She took time for her mental health. And even in, this is so crazy. Even in the fact that I knew that I took time for my mental health, I felt so much shame. And that is something that I am trying to eliminate. And I had to ask myself, and I was praying to God. Hold on. I think I looked up what shame means. Here we go. Because I was like, why do I feel shame about, it says a painful feeling of humiliation or distress caused by consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. And I was just like, why do I just be feeling like I am this bad person for taking a moment for myself, knowing that they'll be fine without me? Why do I feel shame for not going to work when, if anything, I'm the one who's not going to get paid? Why do I feel humiliation? Like I am trying to truly figure out and pinpoint all of these things in my life. This is just me talking out loud, so that thinking out loud, because I don't want to carry this with me. Like I don't want to feel like shame for making decisions in order to benefit myself. Like why me trying to give myself the love and the care that I need feel shame? And I was like praying to God this morning. I was just like, God, like if I'm sinning right now, I'm sorry. Like I repenting for these things. Like, I ask for your forgiveness, and I'm just like asking, I'm just like talking to God, and I'm just like, yo, like, why do I feel shame for doing some small things, some small act of kindness for myself? Because I realized that I really just needed a moment to rest, because I was drained. I felt like if I went to my job today, I wouldn't have been an honest to goodness good person, because I yesterday when I went to work, I was very short fused, and like, as we know, God called us to have like patience, and one of the Bible verses that I have is to be kind and to only, you know, have wisdom come from my tongue. And I just was like, yo, like, this is not kind, this is not patient, this is not wise. Because I can truly say that I was not a good person, and like, people were really getting to me, and I just was like, if I don't take a moment for myself, like, I could feel myself getting on edge, and I was like, am I about to go on my period? And I'm not. So I was like, okay, cool, like, you just need to take a moment. Dang, now I'm getting a headache. I tied my do-rag real tight. I was like, yeah, you need to take a moment, because if not, I'm not that I'm scared for what you might do. I just think that you'll just shut down, and that's not going to be nice for anybody. Even the people who I want to be a good teacher to, I'm just like, yo, like, let's calm down. But anyways, that's actually, now that I talked about it for like 10 minutes, that's actually not even what I had came on here to talk about. I just remembered that I had started a new book, and I was like, oh, let me share. But yes, read it. And let me take a picture. I don't know, this might be the little picture. Anyways, enough of that. Okay, what I really wanted to talk about was, it's been 90 days, 90 days. It was just 3 months. 3 months, hey, 3 months, hey, that I've been clean from cannabis, from weed, from the flower. And I'm so proud of myself. And so I wanted to talk about it briefly, because wow, I remember when I was trying to quit, and I was feeling like I was like, if I quit, then I know I'm gonna miss it, I'm gonna be thinking about it. And what's so crazy is the only reason I knew that it was 3 months today, I wasn't even like, at first, like, when I quit, was keeping track on this app, and it's called I Am Sober. And they sent me a notification today. It says, you've reached the 3-month milestone. And I was like, what, me? Oh my gosh, ow, toss. So I don't know, I'm just really proud of myself, because it was something that I didn't think that I would be able to do. And honestly, it was such a battle when I first quit, because I was dating somebody who smoked, and when we started dating, like, I was smoking, but I wasn't smoking as much. Like, I had cut down on smoking, because I was like, I'm trying to get things done. And then I was like, I don't really want to feel like I'm being consumed by this. And like, I'm the type of person who's like, once I like feel like something's really consuming me, then I feel like I have to just like cut it off. Like, even right now, like with Instagram, I feel like once I re-downloaded the app, I've been feeling like I've been scrolling a lot more. So now I'm just like, I'm about to delete it again, or something. Like, I don't really know, because I'm trying to find the balance, but I'm still trying to I'm trying to be better at social media, but in a way that there's balance, and it doesn't feel like I'm scrolling for hours, or letting like myself just get caught in that loop, or stay up too late, or things like that. So I don't know, that was just an example, but there's other things. Like, even for me, when it comes to like snacking, like, I was doing so good, I wasn't snacking, I wasn't buying Takis. Oh, those are like my kryptonite. So me and some Takis will go down. But then I fell into temptation, and I bought some. I think I had went like a good while without them, and then I bought some, and now I've like had them for a few days, and I was like, oh, bad girl, you bad girl. Come at me, bad girl. Anyways, to keep my story going, I was dating somebody who was smoking, who smoked as well, and then it just increased me smoking by like 10 times. Honestly, come on, girl. And so like I was smoking at times that I would never smoke. Like I was smoking before, like we would smoke before we went to the gym, and then I was smoking before I went to work, and then this is when I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings, not as a teacher, by the way. We're smoking after work, and then we're smoking when we're cooking, and then we're smoking like in the shower, and then after the shower, and we're gonna smoke again. And I was just like, yo, how did I go from smoking after work, chilling, watching TV and eating, to smoking all this time of the day, using all this money that I do not have? And I was like, yo, like, yeah, no. And then God is so good. I felt like I was like numb. Like I felt like I was in mute mode. Like I remember smoking, just being so high. Like I hadn't looked at myself in the mirror in a while, like actually looked at myself, and I looked crazy. And then I remember getting self-conscious about my lips, because my lips were getting dark. Like they were getting like dark, and I was like, yo. So then I started looking up all this stuff about how to brighten your lips, and I'm doing all these lip scrubs and apple cider vinegar and all this stuff. I'm doing all these things, and then I just started cutting back. And of course, like, God convicted me. He was just like, I don't know, like one day he kind of just like was just like, you should just let this go. And this is before like I even like found my way back to him, like for real. Like this was just randomly, he just kind of told me, he was like, you should just stop. Like it just kind of came over me, and I just feel like it was just the Holy Spirit telling me like, hey, you should just like let this go, like let it go, like let it go. And I just was like, okay. So then I started to cut back more, and then like my partner at the time, they kept trying to get me to smoke more, and I was just like, you know what, no, like I don't really need this right now. And then like the day that I decided to stop, it was like I had already cut back. And then like that first week, I would say, honestly, I had already like made up my mind about it. Like this wasn't my first time that I quit weed, actually. And like this isn't my first time quitting something in the first place. I feel like I had quit weed maybe like a year something ago. Like this, I would say this is like my third time quitting, and I don't really have the desire to go back. Like I feel like the times that I did quit, I was just quitting not because I really wanted to, but because I felt like I needed to, not because I wanted to actually quit. I just was like, okay, cool. So the first time I quit, I was saving money. I only quit because I was moving here actually, and I was like, I have to cut all my expenses that aren't expenses that are helping me to get to where I need to go. So I cut off weed, and then I cut off a few other things. I think I cut out vaping. I was vaping at the time, and then I was like, I'm just not gonna buy one. And then I cut out like going out like to the club and like buying drinks and stuff. So I'll only go out once a month. And then yeah, like anything else I just wouldn't buy. So like, ooh, hey, switch that back. Sorry, my ring light. I think it's this one. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. And then the second time I quit, I think I don't even remember why I quit. I think I just was like, I think I couldn't afford it. I think that that's why, because I was here. I remember I was here and I quit for like 6 to 8 months. And I had quit, and then I had met up with one of my friends, and they had some, and I was like, no, I like in my mind I was like, no, I shouldn't. I was just like, oh, like what? I mean, what could happen? Like nothing could happen. And then I hit it, and then it just felt like I just went on like a spiral of smoking again. And so then that lasted for a while, prior, like I said, till 3 months ago, and then like intensified once I had dated that guy. And so side note, side lesson, if you date somebody and they do a habit, just know that it'll intensify your habit. If you drink with if you drink occasionally, or like you drink in your apartment, or you drink wine and your person, maybe they drink wine, like just know that you're going to start drinking more wine. And that's just how it goes, no matter what they say. Smoke, it's going to make you smoke more. Because the thing that made me smoke so much is I didn't know their smoke schedule and they didn't know mine. So if we start hanging out more, and like we're, spending days together, like, and they're smoking, you're gonna be like, oh, like, why not? Like, we're just together, like we're hanging out, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, like, well, this is fine. And so then it becomes a habit. You're habitually hanging out, and then you're dating, and then yeah. So that's just a whole thing. But I have quit a whole lot. I've quit vaping, I've quit smoking, and then I've quit drinking alcohol. But I've been kind of off alcohol for a while. I think I had slipped up a few times this year. Not this year, last year. Because I had thought like, oh, like I could do it. But every time I do it, it literally either puts me to sleep, or I'm just like, I don't even like this. Like, I don't even like the taste of alcohol. Like, I don't think that it's ever going to find its way on my lips again, because I just be like, yeah, no, this is just not for me. But God also calls us to a sober mind. So, hey, there's that. But I actually do have a verse to go along with what I was talking about today. And I felt like what was so hard for me to give up weed is that I had loved it. I loved weed. I loved being high, and I loved the escape. I loved being able to not think. I loved to just be floating through life. I loved to ignore my reality. I loved it. And this is no shade to anybody who smokes. Like, listen, I was really there. I was once you. I cannot throw any stones. I've been there, done that. I partied my way. I was in the club bathroom throwing up. I've thrown up. I remember one time I went to a party in New York. No, it wasn't even a party. I think I went on a date in New York, and we had like a drink, and I forgot, I didn't eat or something. I don't know. Like, we ate a little bit, but it made my stomach upset. And like, we drank, and then like we smoked a little bit, and then I remember being on the train, and I literally like passed out. And that kind of just threw me off. Like, I kind of just like, I had been in a lot of situations with alcohol that I didn't like, but like that situation kind of scared me, because I was just like, yo, like, if I can't even handle one drink, I don't really need to do that. And I like passed out, and like people were in my face. Like, I woke up and was like, oh, my bad. Like, I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, not I passed out on the train. But anyways, I made my way home. I found my way home. I was fine. And yeah, sorry to like dump that on you guys. But anyways, back to the verse. I don't know, God like put this verse on my heart in a way, so we'll just read it just to see. This is Genesis 22. This is when it says Abraham's faith confirmed. This is when Abraham was going up to the mountain, and he was about to sacrifice his son, and he didn't. So what is it? Anything for him or not? So he said, this is 22 verse 12. He said, and he said, do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him, for now I know that you fear God, and since you have not withheld your only son from me. Let me see. Then Abraham lifted his eyes and looked, and there, sorry, this is how I take notes sometimes. And there behind him was a ram caught in the thicket by its thorns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place, "The Lord will provide," as it is said to this day, "In the mount of the Lord that it shall be provided." And like the lesson through that I have wrote is that we should, all right, I'll read my post-it note. It said, we should be able to sacrifice love, or like the things that we love, in order to obey God and be closer to him. Let go and let God, and he will bless us tenfold. May God give me the will of Abraham, that I find the strength to release the things I love to come closer to him. And this is something that I had been meditating on. I was just like, God, please give me the will, give me the heart of Abraham, to be able to give up the things that I love, be able to sacrifice the things that I love in order to just obey him and follow him, and just sacrifice these things in order to just come closer to him. Because the thing that we're not willing to give up is the thing that is blocking us from our blessings. And I realized that when, hold on, let me read this other post note. It says, Abraham obeyed God through and through, even though I know that it was hard for him. His only son given to him at such an old age, and didn't just kill him. He just didn't die. I forgot what, I can't see what I was trying to go with that. Okay, anyways, but just to know that like Abraham was willing to sacrifice his one and only son. Like, if he's willing to sacrifice his son, I can sacrifice some weed. If he's willing to sacrifice his son, I'm willing to sacrifice my time in order to read the word. If he's willing to sacrifice his son, we should just be willing to do so many things. Because God did the same thing, but God actually sacrificed his son. Well, himself is kind of his only son. Yes, his only son. Because Jesus really died for our sins. Like, he really did die. And if we can't do like something small in order to just like sacrifice these little things, these earthly things, like, who are we to expect a blessing? Like, we really have to like kill ourselves in order to just become new, in order to just really follow God. And I know I'm rapping on here 27 minutes, and I'm on here rapping, but no, for real, like, I feel like in this season I've really given up so much for God, and I don't regret any of it. I don't even miss any of it. I don't miss drinking. I don't miss getting drunk. I don't miss being high. And just asking for that heart and the will of Abraham, because like I just really want to follow God. I want to just receive all the blessings that God has for me, and I don't want to be the reason. I don't want to stand in my own way for the future that God has for me, just because I want to be living in my own world. So hey, that's the lesson of the day. Let me read my Bible, because I finished Job yesterday, and it's so good. Like, God really said, and I'm him. Like, if you haven't read Job, like, really read it. Like, really tap into your word. Like, God really said how mighty he is. Like, he really tells us, like, he's like, none can really stand before me. Like, if you think that the Leviathan is scary, you should see me, because I am. That's what God said. I am. I know Moses was shaking in his boots when God said, I am. And he was probably like, ooh. Anyways, let me get off here. Let me get off this thing. Let me finish my tea. I probably got to warm it up because it's probably cold now. Let me see. Yep, cold. Hot leaf water with sugar. But yeah, I hope you have a blessed night. God loves you so much. Money can't stay out your bank account. Read your word. Moisturize your skin. Take care of yourself. Get some rest. Drink your water. Mind your business. Yeah. Bye.